Hi everybody, it's Mr. Anthony presents Mr. A's Astro Weather Channel, and today we're doing the astrology of Frida Kahlo, special edition. Mr. Anthony presents the astrology of Frida Kahlo, the first folk art, indigenous, surrealist, feminist artist of the 20th century, part 1. And the date of birth of Frida is July 6, 1907, Mexico City. And she's born on a Saturday. And Frida is a world famous artist from the 20th century. So her date of birth is July 6, 1907, born on a Saturday. So the first thing I'm seeing here, everybody, the chart of Frida Kahlo. So she's born with Sun in Cancer, Neptune in Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer, North Node in Cancer, all opposing Mars retrograde, Uranus retrograde in Capricorn. Very interesting chart here. She also has Venus, Pluto in Gemini, Moon in Taurus, Saturn retrograde in Pisces, Mars, Uranus retrograde in Capricorn, and Mercury in Leo. So Sun, Neptune, Jupiter, North Node in Cancer. So first of all, what I'm seeing here is that she's real sensitive, which is the Sun in Cancer, very feely touchy. This whole Neptune thing in Cancer, she's very sensitive, very artistic. Neptune here represents art, music, dancing in Cancer. She has Jupiter in Cancer, North Node in Cancer. So Jupiter in Cancer, she came from a pretty well-to-do family background with money and real estate. Her mission in life is to nurture people. But she has a lot of stress here. So how would you interpret Sun, Neptune, Jupiter, North Node in Cancer? Dude, what does that mean to you? She's what, self-centered? Self-absorbed? Self-starter?
I'd see her more as a self-starter, and among friends, they're like her family, more than a bloodline. And when Neptune's conjuncts the Sun, that shows like this really dreamy kind of persona that she gives off. So everybody would just flock to her.
So she has Sun, Neptune, Jupiter, North Node, and Pisces. She's also very spiritual too. Very spiritual person, but she's also moody. She has 4 signs in Cancer ruled by the moon. She has her natal moon in Taurus the Bull. So Taurus the Bull is what? Very sensuous, earth sign.
Stubborn.
She's very materialistic.
Yeah, if it's in second house.
She likes having stuff. Moon in Taurus.
And she values things that have an emotional value, though.
And Taurus is ruled by Venus, and she has Venus in Gemini. Venus also means anything with art, music, and she has Venus, Pluto, and Gemini. So that would suggest that she's a bisexual when it comes to relationships with men and women. So Frida Kahlo is born with Venus, Pluto, and Gemini.
So she was a freak.
Well, that's over here.
I mean, conjunct Pluto, come on.
Well, Pluto means that she had a global influence on people, because Pluto means
mass, generational marker.
Mass consciousness. And it also means in 1907, because Pluto does mean mass communications. You're looking at the advent of records, radio, during that era. Because, like you said, it's not a planet. But let's come back to here. Sun, Neptune, Jupiter, North Node, all in Cancer for Frida Kahlo. Born July 7th, 1907.
Was she ever diagnosed bipolar? Or was some mental illness?
I'm not sure about that.
Because having that Mars retrograde conjunct Uranus retrograde across from the Sun and the North Node in Jupiter.
Well, yeah, she has a pretty intense chart there. July 7th, 1907. She's got Sun, Neptune, Jupiter, North Node all in opposition to Mars and Uranus retrograde. Uranus means what? Sudden accidents.
And that's in the 6th house?
Correct. And she had a sudden accident in that trolley where the pole of the streetcar went inside her body. She had a big accident.
I didn't know that.
That's incredible. So she did have a sudden accident. But it also means, because Mars here means her archetypal symbolic dad, but her dad was real what? Unconventional? Or is it her mother? Because it's in Capricorn, which is feminine. So she has Mars, Uranus, retrograde in Capricorn, all opposing North Node, Jupiter, Neptune, Sun in Cancer. But see, Uranus here would also mean or indicate sudden fame, sudden fortune. And then Venus and Pluto and Gemini in her natal chart indicates that she'll be more popular after she dies. Pluto.
Well, and then Jupiter conjunct North Node.
In Cancer. So that means that she was like a worldwide mother. Is that she nurtured people through her artwork. Incredible.
And how about Mercury?
And then she has Mercury in Leo. So that means when she got mad, she yelled and screamed like a lion.
She scorched the earth.
So she has fire, water, air, earth, water, earth. So she's pretty balanced here. So she's a lot more than a Cancer. Sun, Neptune, Jupiter, North Node in Cancer, opposing natal Mars, Uranus, retrograde in Capricorn. What does the opposition mean, Mr. Anthony? How would you interpret that, dude? Lack of balance, lack of perspective. Things happen for her to change with that sudden accident in that trolley that went through her body.
Yeah. Okay, so what sign is Mars and Uranus?
She has Mars retrograde, Uranus retrograde in Capricorn.
Oh, well, and Capricorn is a cardinal sign.
Correct, and so
and
is
then
Cancer.
Cancer's a cardinal sign.
So you have cardinal water, cardinal earth. So she was going to be confronted with something
She's a catalyst.
in a sudden way to help her with her soul growth. In this case, when she was in that trolley, in that metal bar went through her body, she was handicapped for a long time.
Yeah, she always had periods in her life where she had to go through very deep transformation.
So her relationship with her husband, the artist Diego Rivera,
That would have been very volatile.
and that guy was a Sagittarius. And what is the vibe between Sagittarius fire sign and Cancer the crab? Not a good match. Not a good match. But what was the match with those two? Well, he was a Sagittarius. Diego Rivera was her husband, the famous artist. And Frida here was born with Venus, Pluto, and Gemini opposing his natal sun in Sagittarius. So that means they had a lot of issues. A lot of it was sexual, which is Pluto, and a lot of it was love, Venus. But Gemini means two. So they say Diego had a lot of affairs with many women when he was married because he's a famous artist. And Frida had a lot of affairs with men and women. So why? Because she's born with Venus, Pluto, and Gemini.
Well, they have a ton of restriction, is this Saturn in her 4th house?
And she has Saturn in Pisces in house 4. That means karma with the home, or karma with drugs, or karma with spirit. And she was a heavy smoker. She smoked like a pack a day.
Well, and Pisces is an artistic sign.
It is. So she has Sun, Neptune, Jupiter, North Node, and harmony, or trying to Saturn in Pisces. So she has harmony there.
Right. So Neptune and that Saturn retrograde actually work well together.
So she has harmony there, and then she has Moon in Taurus natally, in sextile aspect to Sun, Neptune, Jupiter, North Node. That's a happy aspect.
Sextile being 60 degrees.
Correct.
People.
A sextile means harmony.
Trines and sextiles are
considered harmonious, correct. On the other hand, Frida Kahlo, born July 7th, 1907, she has some stress here. Once again, Sun, Neptune, Jupiter, North Node, all in opposition to Mars, Uranus retrograde. So she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cardinal signs or confrontational signs to confront life. And if she doesn't confront life, life confronts her. In this case, Frida said the biggest accident of her life was meeting Diego Rivera, the artist. That's what she says.
Yikes.
But that's pretty incredible. So she does have either a lack of balance in her life or a lack of perspective because she does have an opposition over here.
Which is 180
degrees, correct. And then she does have Mercury in Leo in conjunct Mars and Uranus in Capricorn.
That's 150, guys.
And then she does have Mercury in Leo in conjunct Saturn in Pisces.
So she has a yod.
Exactly. Which is the finger of God. Special destiny. I would say she did that.
Well, yeah, with Mercury in the 10th house.
And then she does have Sun, Neptune, Jupiter, North Node in House 11, which is to help humanity. Help people.
Yeah.
And she didn't become famous till after she died. She died in 1954.
So her birthday is next Saturday?
Yes, it is. So Frida Kahlo was born July 6, 1907. And she died July 13th.
Oh, so it's next Friday.
1954 is when she died. And she's considered the first surrealist folk artist of the 20th century.
And when did they give her that honor, though? Was it after she died?
Well, she was recognized as a surrealist in the 1930s when she went to France. She had a big art exhibit in France in the 1930s.
I want to zoom into her picture for everybody.
So Frida Kahlo.
And this is her self-portrait, right?
Correct.
Don't you have a photograph? An actual photograph? Mr. Anthony has a really cool story about Frida.
Yeah, I visited the Blue House in Mexico City, the home of Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera, called the Blue House, or the Casa Azul. Casa Azul, I visited the home, and when I walked in her home, I felt this energy of love.
She's so tiny.
I felt her spirit. Yeah, she's really small, dude. Look how big he is.
I know.
Look at this guy.
That's the...
He's about 6'3", 6'4".
Mr. Rivera is the painting that was in the introduction. That's his artwork.
And I also visited the Palace of Fine Arts in Mexico City, and he has all his murals painted on the wall at the National Palace. Incredible work, this guy. The walls are like 100 feet high.
So,
but Diego always encouraged Frida to paint because she was bedridden with a corset on her body because of that injury when she was 8.
well, see, that's what I was seeing between this, the Sun, Neptune, Jupiter, North Node opposing Mars
Uranus retrograde,
was
Capricorn.
like this difficulty with the drive in her career and her purpose. And him being a Sag, I think, would have been helpful because he would have wanted to travel and expand, and she would have wanted to be a recluse.
And that's a very good point because Diego, he did study in Russia in the 20s. He studied over there. He came back to Mexico City. He started doing European Russian art, and then he evolved into the indigenous art of the Americas. But yeah, like you said, her basic mode is the home life. And what I find interesting is that Neptune here represents hospitals, clinics.
Well, it's a good thing it wasn't in the 12th house.
So she spent a lot of time in hospitals because of her condition, because of that accident with the trolley when she was 7 or 8, when that metal bar went through her body. So she was bedridden all her life, most of her life, and they say she walked with a limp. So that Neptune aspect represents that part of her mission in life is to become compassionate for herself and also acceptance of being married to Diego Rivera.
Very fascinating. Are we going to get to do more of these, Mr. Anthony?
Absolutely. We'll do one on Diego Rivera. We'll do on a whole lot of people.
All right.
So this has been Mr. Anthony Presents the Astrology of Frida Kahlo.